Now, thousands of children are being denied a loving home because of ridiculous bureaucracy, according to the Education Secretary, Michael Gove. He's announced new guidelines on adoption in England to make it easier for parents to adopt children from different ethnic backgrounds. The guidelines are designed to break down barriers like ethnicity, sexual orientation and faith. With me now is the comedian Joy Carter and the founder of the Fusion Academy of Performing Arts, Ben Douglas, both of whom were adopted by white couples. And in a way, I don't want to intervene at all between you two. I want you to talk to each other about your very, very contrasting experiences.
Yes. You
seem to have had a sublimely happy childhood with white parents.
I did. I had a really nurturing, loving, supportive childhood.
Joy, it wasn't so much parenting, it was school, wasn't it?
Yeah, my problem was, obviously my parents were white, but the biggest fundamental problem I had moving up to Scunthorpe, as we did, I was the only black child in a completely white society, and people didn't know how to talk to me. They were ignorant of ethnicity at that time, and I literally walked in being a happy and confident young girl to literally being reduced to stammering and anorexia and all manner of traumatic problems.
I also was the only black face in my school and really in Teddington where I grew up. There were a couple of others, but really not very many. And so I can understand what you went through. But what this comes back to with this whole, the fantastic news that the law's been changed, is the simple fact that black and ethnic families are not coming forward to adopt. Therefore, you have a high percentage of ethnic children in residential care. And to my mind, being in a loving, stable environment is far better than being in a children's home.
Yeah, I completely second that. People often say to me, what about the colour match? Well, let's just break this down, okay? There are 36 different shades of black skin. Yeah. If you're going for a colour match, listen, I know I struggle with a MAC counter in Selfridges. You know, we're going to be here sometime. it's just not going to happen, you know. So just loving parents. Listen, my parents chose me. I was adopted out in Nigeria in the Biafran War, you know, in the 70s. It was a horrific time of bloodshed. My parents chose me. I was dying of pneumonia. I had horrendous skin problems, and yet they still wanted to adopt me.
But you know what, Joy? Had you been over here in exactly the same situation and your parents were white, they would have been denied, and you would have been in a children's home. So thank goodness that common sense has prevailed.
What is interesting is that despite this, you had a harrowing time at school. You were terribly teased and very ostracised. And despite that, you would say, definitely, you're in favour of today.
I don't care, you know, parents, if you're gay, if you've got, I don't care what colour people are, I don't care what race people have. At the moment, when I first started talking about this issue in 2007, there were 5,000 children in the UK with no parents. Now, sat here in 2011, there are 6,200 children right now without a mum or a dad. I think that is unacceptable, and I think something major has to be done. In 1998, Paul Botang, you know, in the new Labour government then, said exactly the same as Michael Gove then, and what's happened? Nothing.
Well, now it has.
Yes, now it has, thank goodness. One issue I'd like to pick up on as well, which always makes me laugh really, is when my parents were trying to adopt, the 3 top reasons they were given for not adopting me as a black child. Number 1, they couldn't do my hair. Number 2, they wouldn't know what food to feed me. And number 3, they wouldn't give me my culture. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I have been brought up in England and I am English. It would be ridiculous for me to claim to be African or Caribbean, because this is the country I've been brought up in. And people that kind of go against interracial adoption, that's the 3 arguments they always throw, and I just think it's absolutely ridiculous.
But do you think there is actually anyway a problem with adoption nowadays? Are people just generally less willing to be so generous?
No, it's still full of massive, antiquitous bureaucracy. It's so old-fashioned, and this is what really angers me.
Years as well.
We're talking about it, here we are again. You know, everyone's getting excited. I want to see a direct change in the law. I spoke to a couple who were told after 2 years, a beautiful, loving family, that they were too wealthy. Now, hopefully, things have changed now because of the economic climate, because of the last government. Let's not go there. But, you know, it's ridiculous. You're too old, you smoke. You know, there's all these problems. And they need to just cut out a lot of that red tape, because children are being denied Loving parents.
Yes, and something else I would like to say is, can ethnic minorities please come forward to adopt, because they are sadly underrepresented in the